Welcome to the Explainer. So, you know that sudden, awful, sinking feeling in the pit of your stomach? You reach into your glove box, and that one absolutely crucial piece of paper you literally need right this second, it's just not there. Today's Explainer is your ultimate step-by-step game plan for solving a massive DMV headache, getting a copy of your vehicle registration in New York. Stick with me because in the next few minutes, we're going to make this whole thing so incredibly simple and transparent that honestly, even a total beginner will know exactly what to do. Okay, let's just dive right in. We've all been there, or, at least been terrified of being there. You've lost your New York vehicle registration, or maybe it got damaged, or worse, stolen. That immediate panic of realizing a vital document is just gone, it is completely relatable. But hey, take a deep breath. We're going to walk through this whole shebang together. And I promise you, getting a duplicate is way easier than you might think if you just hit the right steps.
Now, we've combed through every single official New York State Department of Motor Vehicles document to bring you the exact verified pathways. We're relying strictly on the official state rulebook to decode this bureaucratic maze step by step for you. We want to give you real practical value so you can get back on the road safely, legally, and without all that anxiety.
All right, moving into Section 1, Legal Risks and Requirements.
Now, you might be totally tempted to put this off until your next day off, right? But replacing this document absolutely cannot wait. Remember this foundational DMV rule: no insurance, no plates. Your registration isn't just a basic receipt showing you paid a state fee. Oh no, it's actually a vital legal shield. It proves to law enforcement that your vehicle has active liability insurance, has passed its safety inspections, and is, in fact, legally permitted to be out there on public roadways.
And without it, well, the ramifications are pretty severe. If you're pulled over driving an undocumented vehicle, you aren't just looking at a minor inconvenience or a polite warning. You're looking at potential fines, heavy penalties, and, get this, in some extreme cases, your vehicle could literally face impoundment. The risk simply isn't worth it, especially when the fix is right at our fingertips.
So Section 2, your replacement action plan. Let's get to the fix.
Let's provide some instant relief right off the bat. $3. $3. That is the standard, highly affordable fee for a duplicate registration document and a new windshield sticker in New York. For less than the cost of your morning coffee, you can totally restore your legal compliance. That's a huge weight off your shoulders, right? So to pay that $3, you essentially have two main routes: the digital convenience path versus the more traditional physical paths. Online replacement is incredibly fast. Like, you can actually print a temporary document right there on the spot. On the flip side, the in-person or mail-in options require you to fill out specific physical paperwork, specifically Form MV82D, and provide some pretty strict proof of identity points.
Let's break down those physical steps first, just so you know exactly what's required. Step 1. Complete Form MV82D. That's the application for duplicate registration. Step 2. Gather your proofs of identity, which is usually just your New York State photo driver's license. Step 3. Pay that $3 fee with a check or money order. And finally, Step 4. Mail your whole packet to the DMV, or just visit an office in person. Oh, and if you're doing this by mail, definitely note this down. You absolutely must use the specific Utica Processing Center address at P.O. Box 359. That's actually different from the address they use for standard renewals.
But hey, what if you want to skip the mail and the lines entirely? The online route is fantastic, but it does come with strict prerequisites. Your vehicle has to be a valid passenger or commercial class. Also, your registration cannot be expiring within the next 60 days. If it is, you just got to do a standard renewal instead. And crucially, your current mailing address must be up to date in the DMV's system. If you meet all those criteria, boom, you can log on, pay the fee, and immediately print a temporary registration for your dashboard while the official sticker makes its way to you in the mail.
Moving on to Section 3, Special Cases and Waivers.
If you've got a slightly more unique situation, don't worry, we're covering those edge cases too. The absolute crucial point here is understanding the difference between standard vehicles and non-titled vehicles. For modern standard cars, the title document proves your ownership, so doing a duplicate registration online is totally allowed. But for pre-1973 vintage cars, boats, or ATVs, New York doesn't actually issue a title. Instead, a transferable registration is what proves your ownership. If you lose this piece of paper, it actually freezes your legal title. Like, you cannot legally sell that vehicle without it. Because of this, you absolutely cannot replace a transferable registration online. You got to make an in-person visit for sure. Now, if the DMV system cannot issue a duplicate transferable registration for your awesome vintage vehicle, there's a really handy fallback, Form MV353. For a $10 fee, this certification for transfer acts as a kind of administrative bridge. It allows owners of non-titled vehicles to legally sign over and sell their property, even if that original physical registration card is gone forever.
There's also a really important waiver you need to be aware of. If your registration or plates were lost because you were the victim of a property crime, New York actually offers some financial relief. The replacement fee is completely waived. However, to get this waiver, you absolutely must obtain a police report, specifically Police Form MV78B, and you have to apply for your replacement by mail or in person. Unfortunately, you cannot claim this crime victim waiver online.
Speaking of stolen or damaged stuff, what if your actual metal license plates are missing right alongside your paperwork? The fees do adjust accordingly. You're going to need to visit a physical DMV office, and the cost will be $25 for a new set of 2 metal plates, or $12.50 if you ride a motorcycle. And the good news is, when they issue those new metal plates, they'll automatically print you a brand new registration card to match the whole shebang.
All right, let's hit Section 4, Common Roadblocks to Avoid. So let's look at those sneaky hidden system hurdles that catch so many drivers completely off guard, things that can freeze your application dead in its tracks. See, the DMV database acts as an integrated compliance checker. If you have any of these roadblocks, your duplicate request will be blocked immediately. First, lapsed liability insurance. Remember our golden rule? No insurance, no plates. Second, safety and emissions inspections that have been expired for over 12 months. And third, unpaid municipal tolls or tickets. You're literally forced to resolve these outstanding violations before the system will allow a duplicate document to be printed for you.
Another massive roadblock is failing to prove exactly who you are. The physical application process uses Form ID-82, which enforces a really rigorous point system for identity verification. You need 6 points to prove your identity and your date of birth. A current New York State photo driver's license usually satisfies this perfectly, but if you don't have one handy, you'll be scrambling together birth certificates and utility bills just to hit that 6-point threshold. They do this to protect against fraudulent vehicle transfers, so they take it very seriously. And what if you're trying to be super helpful and go to the DMV on behalf of a family member or a friend? You got to be aware of the strict dual credential validation rule. You, the third party, must bring your own original physical ID. Plus, and this is key, a physical photocopy of the actual registrant's New York State driver's license. The DMV enforces this strictly to prevent unauthorized folks from getting their hands on copies of registrations. Which brings us to our final part, Section 5, Final Tips and Disclaimer. We've navigated the hurdles, we've explored the pathways. Now let's look at some ongoing maintenance tips to ensure you stay completely compliant and never, ever have to deal with this bureaucratic headache again. Here are your golden rules. First, by law, you must keep your address current with the DMV within 10 days of moving. If they mail important notices to your old apartment, you could end up with a suspended registration without even knowing it. Second, maintain continuous New York liability coverage from an authorized insurer. Remember, out-of-state insurance is never acceptable. And third, make it a habit to always keep your registration documents securely inside the vehicle. And of course, an absolutely essential evergreen disclaimer for you. State laws, procedures, and fees can and do change over time. While this explainer provides a highly comprehensive and totally accurate guide based on current sources, you should always verify the latest forms and requirements directly with the official New York State DMV website. Or, consult a legal expert if you're ever unsure about your specific situation. Which leaves us with one final, kind of provocative question to end on today. Are your DMV records and inspections fully up to date right now? I highly urge you, the absolute moment this explainer ends, go check your glove box, check your windshield sticker, and ensure you are staying ahead of the bureaucracy. Stay safe out there, stay compliant, and keep enjoying the open road.